Big Ed, welcome to detention. Just go back, go to the back, take a seat, get out your homework, start working on it, be quiet. No, it's okay. It's okay. Well, trying to hide my microphone here. That ain't gonna happen. Damn it! Where do I put this goddamn thing? Okay, hold on. Yeah, we're gonna have to put it over here. That's okay. Ugh. All right. So basically, today's stream is just that. It's detention. Hope y'all enjoy it. We're gonna watch. I got them. Y'all better be lucky that I'm such a forgiving coach. And that I get bored. But I'm just gonna sit here and I'm just gonna do my crosswords. Just gonna do my crosswords here. And yeah, y'all get your work done. I'm gonna play some after school specials.
Reading, writing, and reefer.
Well, I was walking home and a friend of mine asked me if I wanted to go smoke a joint, so I said yeah, and we went over to his house and smoked a joint.
What'd you do after that?
Then we decided to come over here, but it was raining, so we just waited till it stopped, and then we came over here, and he smoked a joint with me and my brother.
Rip, noob!
You still high?
Be quiet back
Yeah,
there.
little.
Get out your work.
Yeah.
Do your work.
A 12-year-old schoolboy stoned on reefer
Token pack.
marijuana. For years,
Be
we
quiet
have
back
debated
there.
the legal
Watch the
and
movie.
medical
Do your work.
ramifications of marijuana smoking. But for the most part, we've talked about adults. All our medical
Welcome to
research
detention.
has been
You're-
done on adults.
Looks like
This
you're
report
5 minutes
is not
late.
about adults, and it is not about the occasional use of marijuana. It is about chronic marijuana smoking by American youngsters. Suddenly, in just the past few years, hundreds of thousands of American youngsters have become daily marijuana smokers. Not experimenters, not occasional users, but chronic smokers. In their own words, potheads.
You better not be smoking that pot back there.
Not just at weekend rock concerts.
You're not be smoking
They
that
smoke
pot back
every
there.
day. And not just teenagers, but children. They are smoking reefer with a frequency and in ways that are potentially disastrous.
How many joints I was smoking was about 100 a week.
100 joints a week.
It's about 10 a day, a little more. And usually...
100
a lot of
joints
people
a
that I was
week.
friendly with smokes in the morning,
Good
smokes in the
God.
afternoon, smokes at night. And any time in between that too.
I
To
mean,
support a habit this extensive, where do these kids get the money?
They work for it. Some take it from their bar mitzvah or confirmation money. Some deal for it.
I like when I get up in the morning, I like to smoke one, or after I eat, I kind of like to smoke one then, or just when there's a bunch of people around, that's when I really like to smoke pot.
What effect do you think smoking marijuana has on your work at school?
is this kid like
Not too
12?
good of effect, because when you smoke marijuana, you just don't feel like doing work right then. You don't feel like even getting into it at all, listening or nothing. It just makes it seem like a drag.
It makes you feel like you're in a dream. It's not normal, and it's not too active. You're just in between, just right.
Brian lives in Florida, but there are children like Brian in almost every American city. Children who, even before they enter high school, have become
You don't get
veteran
hall
marijuana
passes in detention. Rip
How old were
noob.
you when you started smoking regular?
Sit back down.
About 8.5, 9.
How often do you get stoned?
They've let fucking birds in the school
Almost
again.
every day.
How does it make you feel?
Good, I just feel
Oh my God,
relaxed
he
and
is
I
12. I
just
guessed
like
it
to
right.
Sit there and watch TV or do something.
Could you tell us about your smoking habits? When do you light up your first joint?
Well, on the weekends when I first get up after a while, I just smoke a couple joints to get off, and then I just wait a while, and then after I've gone down, and I smoke some more. And on weekdays, I usually don't smoke in the morning, but sometimes I buy a couple joints and go up to the bus stop, and we match each other. But it's usually I just wait till after school and come home and get high with my brother and stuff.
Do many of your friends smoke at school?
Yeah, almost all of them. About 20% don't.
What grade are you going to be in this year?
8th.
Like most of the children you will meet in this report, Brian lives in a pleasant neighborhood. He is not a deprived child, he is not a delinquent, he does not like alcohol, tobacco, or PCP. Smoking marijuana, toking they call it, is what he and his friends prefer. And their entire lives have come to revolve around what they call copping a buzz.
How many joints do you smoke a day?
Around 5. Sometimes more, because sometimes like there's a party Friday night or something, we just smoke almost our whole bag, say.
When you say you smoke 5 joints, by yourself?
No, with friends. Like just friends of mine.
Any of you assholes out
joints
there
does it
remember
take
what
you
won
to
Best
get high?
Picture this year? For
Probably
2018
just about
at the
a
Oscars?
half a joint, not even that much. Just about 3-4 tugs, and I've got copped a buzz.
And how long does the buzz last?
About an hour.
I'm asking you a question.
And then you toke up again?
Yeah, I just take like 3 or 4 more tokes and then just put it out and save it for after a while.
Often, by the time Brian boards the morning school bus, he and some
Can't
friends
even
have
tell
shared
me
their first joint. Sometimes
answers
they
to my
decide not to
questions.
go to school. In one 9-week period last year, Brian skipped school 16 days without his mother's knowledge. He spent those days stoned on marijuana. There was a time when Brian was an excellent student, interested in school. That has changed.
I just feel good getting high in the morning at first, but then after a while, I just get real tired and fall asleep in class and stuff.
I feel it has made him sort of forgetful and just not really caring like he used to. But now that I realize that he smoked some before school, now I can really see why his grades have gone down.
What happens if you're sitting in a classroom high and a teacher is giving a lecture?
I just sit there. I listen, but I don't remember it after she said it. Say she said something and she'll call on me to answer the question. I'll say, what? What?
They are using it often, every day, and many times throughout the day. And I, to be honest, didn't even realize how often my own son was using it till this interview.
Fourth
Experts
survivor.
like Dr. Robert DuPont believe that many adults
Sit
are
down,
not
take
aware
out
of
your
the
work.
extent of their children's smoking.
And get to work. Stop talking back there.
And I think this is a
This is
very
detention.
sad fact. Over the age of 25, the levels of marijuana use fall dramatically, and over 30, they fall to practically zero in the total population. So that people who are adults don't see very much marijuana use and are utterly unaware of both the extent of it and the rapid increase.
Thank you, squeak your line. Now be quiet.
I see it going on all over the country right now, involving schools, involving parents.
Thank you,
everybody.
J-Man.
People don't want to see the problem.
They don't understand it. You know, they try really hard to understand it, but they don't know what's going on, and it's hitting them really hard, you know.
What is going on?
Their kids are out getting high.
Dr. Johnston, your annual surveys of American high school seniors show a steady
Why
rise
are my
in the number
alerts
of
being
students
done?
who are daily habitual smokers of marijuana. Is that trend continuing? What do your 1978 figures show?
Yes, it is continuing. We're finding that among the most recent high school class, 1978 seniors, that about 11% are reporting daily or near daily marijuana use. And this figure is up considerably from an earlier class, 1975, where the comparable number was about 6%. So the number of daily users has nearly doubled in 3 years.
What that University of Michigan study means is that nationwide, 11% of all American high school seniors were smoking marijuana every day. Those are just high school seniors. An official government report says that in 1977, more than 4 million young Americans, ages 12 to 17...
Be quiet back there. What's
were
the
what
hops?
the
This is
report
detention.
called
We don't get no
current
bathroom
users
passes.
of
Did you use
marijuana.
the bathroom before I come
No
into
longer
detention?
uncommon for 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds,
Sit
and
down,
even younger people
shut up,
to be using
watch the
marijuana
movie,
on a regular basis.
and do your
I
work.
think it's important that during this same period where we've been observing a constant increase in marijuana use, the proportion of young people who are involved with other illicit drugs has remained very stable, almost exactly where it has been over the last 4 years.
Lisa is 15 now, but she has been smoking marijuana for a long time.
When did you start smoking regularly?
In the 7th grade.
How much did you smoke?
About 4 or 5 joints a day.
How long have you been smoking 4 or 5 joints a day?
3 years.
What effect did it have on you?
I like the high.
What was it about marijuana that made it so important to your life?
When you get high, you mellow out a lot. You forget about your problems, school, tensions.
Do many of the kids smoke as much as you do?
Mm-hmm.
Chris attends the same high school as Lisa in a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia. He became a marijuana user at age 11. Now he's 15 and a heavy marijuana smoker.
Well, when I don't have it, it depends on how many people, you know, front it to me or whatever you want to call it. Like, when I don't have it, I smoke between 10 and 15 a week, not including Friday nights and Saturday nights.
Now, he's doing 10 or 15. That other guy? That other guy was smoking 100.
Have a bag of your own?
100 joints a
It's
week.
usually gone in 2 hours.
Why do you smoke that much? What do you get out of it? You just like the high?
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice feeling. You can sit back and relax and listen to the music and have your fun. Like, you smoke your first joint, and if you've been smoking it a long time, then you get your buzz, you know, going. And that's when your head's kind of like, it's just barely on the tip where you want more, you know. And then by the time you smoke the second joint, you'll be high, and then you're just like, you're relaxed, and you don't let nothing bother you, and nothing ever bothers you.
My God, my feet are slipping off my desk.
Normal, every little thing, you know, could bother you, but, like, when you're high, you don't let nothing bother you, let it pass by.
Seriously, how has it affected your grades?
Well, my grades were all right till I hit the 7th grade, and that's when I started getting high, too.
See, guys, this is why you should never touch the devil's lettuce. You're always just going to be stupid.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I don't really know. I had no idea.
But you want to be a marijuana smoker?
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
I know.
A professional marijuana smoker. See, that's that kid's life's ambition. Professional marijuana smoker. Hey, Rich, looks like you're about 17 minutes late to detention, mister.
Released in 1936.
Get your book out, go to the back, take out your book, start working.
In those days, marijuana was called the devil's weed. Films portrayed marijuana as the certain cause of murder, insanity, and sexual depravity. With publicity like this, it's not surprising that by 1937, marijuana was illegal in America. But the anti-marijuana propaganda was so distorted and heavy-handed that it produced a backlash. There was so much exaggeration of the evils of the drug that many people stopped believing any bad news about marijuana. That skepticism is still with us. And it's one reason that today's young pot smokers are reluctant to believe that marijuana is anything.
What's a 3-letter word for Hawaiian food?
That attitude is encouraged by advertisements like this one, suggesting that Uncle Sam wants you to smoke marijuana through a
Thank you, Goldilocks and the Bear. Now shut up!
Peddling the paraphernalia of marijuana smoking has become a $250 million industry. Much of the advertising seems to be aimed at young people, like the Space Pistols, designed not for games, but to squirt marijuana smoke into the lungs. And there's a Frisbee called Catch a Buzz. It has a built-in pipe for smoking marijuana between tosses. Milk and cookies are used as a background to pitch rolling paper. These days, not many Americans roll their own tobacco cigarettes, but a lot of people, including children, roll joints. The rolling paper comes in strawberry and banana flavors. All of these advertisements appear in High Times magazine, a publication aimed at the American drug culture. Many youngsters told us they got most of their news about marijuana from High Times. And from such a source, they are not likely to get much adverse information about the drug. The implication of some advertisements is that reefer is good for everybody, regardless of age. Some young people have come to believe that.
Like a friend of mine, they have a kid, and he gets high even one night we got him high. He's about 2 or 3.
How do you get a 2 or 3-year-old child high?
You just teach him how to toke, and he tokes it. Then he starts getting red-eyed, then you know he's high.
How did he act?
Then he starts jumping around.
Do you ever think that regular marijuana smoking, the kind of smoking you do, and the kind of smoking your friends do, 10, 20, 30 joints a week, might turn out to be harmful to your health?
No, I don't have a doubt in my mind, you know, that it'll hurt me. It won't never hurt me, I know.
No, I don't really think it could harm you.
Where are these people from?
And I don't really think it does nothing to your body except, you know, sometimes make you just feel like a statue or something. Not really like that, but where you don't want to move.
Young pot smokers are fond of praising the pleasures of the simple weed. Marijuana is a weed, but it contains over 300 chemicals. 60 of those chemicals are found in no other plant. The most potent of them is called THC. THC is the major intoxicating element in marijuana, which this is, grown in a government laboratory. THC is what makes the pot smoker feel high. Now, the THC content, and therefore the potency of marijuana, can be increased by selective cultivation, and that is happening. On the average, the marijuana available in our streets and schoolyards has become more than 10 times stronger in just the past 4 years. Now, potheads like this so-called good material, but it means that just as our children are taking up chronic pot smoking at a younger age, the chemical content of the marijuana they're smoking is growing stronger and stronger. When the pot smoker uses that good material, the smoke carries a variety of chemical compounds to the lungs. Within seconds, the THC begins to circulate throughout the body, carried by the fatty particles in the bloodstream.
Andy Marr, looks like you are 20 minutes late to detention. Get in the back of the room. Take out your books. Be quiet.
Getting stoned is all about. Along with the intoxication, the heartbeat increases dramatically. This is why many scientists believe that no one with a heart condition should use marijuana. Unlike alcohol, the THC from marijuana remains in the body for a long time. Up to 3 days after you've smoked a joint, half the THC is still in your body, where it tends to accumulate in the reproductive system, the brain, and other vital organs. Just how long the last traces of THC remain in the body, no one knows. The more you smoke, the greater the accumulation. That may be one reason that heavy smokers seem to develop a tolerance. They have to smoke more marijuana or stronger marijuana in order to feel high. But what concerns scientists are the potential long-term effects of THC accumulating in the vital organs. No one knows what those effects will be, but many scientists are particularly concerned about the chronic use of marijuana during the formative years of childhood and adolescence. Dr. Sidney Cohen of UCLA is among them. Dr. Cohen, are you more concerned about marijuana use by young people than you are about marijuana use by adults?
Yes, I am, and especially for the following reason. Not only do they have longer periods of time to be exposed to marijuana and therefore possibly harmed by it, but youth is a time of learning how to deal with life, how to cope, how to deal with stress, how to manage anxiety. If you don't learn it then, when do you learn it?
Are you saying then that marijuana would stand in the way of young people going from adolescence to adulthood?
To psychological adulthood, yes. And this can be dangerous. And this is why I'm particularly concerned about very young people, and we're hearing now of 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds becoming over-involved in this drug.
Young people themselves are discovering at least one effect of chronic smoking. They call it being burned out. The first symptoms are a drastic change in the way marijuana makes you feel.
Getting burned out.
Getting high, I'd be laughing and everything.
Getting burned out on weed at 14 years old.
I just get kind of mellowed out, and I don't say much. I become real quiet and everything. And I don't know if the high, I guess I'm kind of sick of the high.
Well, usually a new smoker, you know, is real active, tries to make everyone laugh at them, and
hell no, I don't mess with weed. I'm a champion.
But the people who
by the way,
smoke burn out,
be quiet.
Like to
y'all are talking too much back there.
They don't like to do much.
What stage are you in?
If I can hear you, that means you ain't working.
I don't do much. I just sit around.
What do y'all
pick
think this
something
is?
to eat.
Y'all think this
It
is
just
some
makes me
kind of
drowsy and just
Club Med?
just like to sit there and not move.
No, this is Detention.
Thirsty, I can't. I'm just so.
Y'all are in here because
coked
y'all
out,
are
I don't even wanna
deviants.
go get something to drink.
You are high, but you don't consider it as high. You know, it's just another thing. And you'd have to smoke more of it once you've smoked it a while than you would if you've just started smoking it. Like, instead of one joint, it'd take 2 or 3 joints. So.
Yeah, like that guy smoking 100 joints a week.
The young man we're talking to spends a lot of time just sitting and listening to music. Keith is 16. He's been a daily marijuana user for more than a year. Now his friends call him burned out.
Being burned out, that's just, you don't get high when you smoke it, or you just acting kind of really dumb, you know. Somebody, they'll talk to you and you don't hear them, or you don't pay attention to them. That's when people start calling you burnt out.
You have trouble with your memory?
Yeah, you forget what you're saying.
Who told you you were burned out, and why did they tell you that?
Just my friends clowning around, you know. They're saying, "Oh, you're burnt out," you know.
What were you doing that made them say that?
They'd be talking to me, and I'm just not paying attention and not realizing that they were talking to me.
I've seen this too, and it's entirely possible that the youngsters who smoke lots of good pot over long periods of time.
Bear, I don't believe you one second.
Mental impairment, which is not completely reversible. It may go on for months, and
y'all are
there is
all
a suspicion
miscreants
that
as far as
some of
I'm
it may be
concerned.
permanent, so that they're not as keen, as sharp as
Now
they
shut
were
up! Y'all are keeping me
previously.
from my
This may
crosswords.
not be perceived by
Y'all
the
are
youngster.
messing my mind up.
You know, we're talking to you, but I don't consider myself ever being burnt out. I don't know, you know. They may say that I am, but I don't.
Have you ever seen other people who you think are burnt out who don't think they're burnt out themselves?
Yeah, I do. When I smoke by myself, I just think about things. And, you know, you can just think about things that you don't
I ain't sharing it with no one, Token. Especially not with the likes of you.
Not anything in particular, just anything, really. You can just... You're not bored because you kind of like got something to do. You know, you're thinking. Or you're just doing something.
But you're sitting still.
Yeah. And you don't think to yourself that you're sitting still not doing anything. You're sitting still thinking about things. And you don't think to yourself that you're bored. At least I don't, anyway.
Have you ever done anything when you were really stoned that you were really proud of? You know, put a bike together or anything like that? Or
Of course they ain't gonna put no bike together. He's fucking how old?
Well, I may have done it, but I don't really remember it. You know, just
Jesus
nothing
Christ,
that's really
these are
important.
misleading questions.
When I'm stoned, I just like sitting back and just listen to music mostly. That's what I like doing when I'm high.
I don't choose the movies. This is just what was in the TV when I rolled it in here. Take it or leave
I
it.
don't know what parents can do because I've tried everything.
We
I
can
know
sit here in
I've
silence
asked,
or
I've
we can
read,
sit here with this
I've
movie.
studied, I've prayed. I'm still looking for an answer. I'm not going to give up hope because I am that fearful of it. I'm afraid that the effects will be very major. And it's going to be found out at a point of no return as far as the youngsters. that
Turn
are
and burn. Thank you for the host. Now,
A young person
get
with
back.
chronic
You're late to
stone
detention.
is
You're
not coping with the important tasks of
28 minutes late. And God damn
from
it,
the
these
normal
alerts
growth
keep
that is gonna
fucking
find himself
up.
further and further behind his
I don't
his
know why
peers.
they're lasting
Kids
this
don't
long.
think about their future because they don't.
This young man is a member of an organization
Big Ed,
called
thank you.
Pot
Now
Smokers
shut up.
Anonymous. He quit marijuana when he began to see the effects of chronic smoking on his own life.
I was getting a little lazy, and I figured that sooner or later I was going to get burnt. I was going to have the burnout feeling, as you said.
Short, slightly look
And
very
sooner or later, I was
unattractive.
just going to be totally wasted.
That's
And I don't
okay.
want to be it that way. I want to make something of myself.
Now, some of them will stop, I would hope, and recoup. Others who continue to use this good material and continue over many years may be so impaired that they will never.
RM81, you are now officially
effectiveness.
29 minutes late to detention. Shut up, get in the back, open up your books, and be quiet.
National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. He'll soon be leaving Normal, but in the past 8 years, he's done a great deal to make America more tolerant of marijuana use by adults. Keith Strupp believes that the use of marijuana should be restricted to adults. He's worried about the increase in chronic marijuana smoking among young people.
There is a tendency on the part of young people today to underestimate the potential for harm from psychoactive drug use, I think. I would caution them against this. There is no such thing as a totally safe drug, and I don't think marijuana is going to be the first. It should obviously not be a daily habit, and in particular, it should not be something people do before they attend school or before they study for exams or things like that.
In the White House and other key government positions, Dr. Robert DuPont also helped to liberalize American attitudes toward marijuana. Now in private practice, he has had second thoughts. In the past, you've said publicly that marijuana is less of a hazard to health than tobacco or alcohol. Why have you changed your mind?
For two reasons. One is we know a lot more about the health hazards of marijuana now and how dangerous it really is. But two, and equally important, is that I now realize that this has been interpreted by the public as meaning marijuana is okay. We're so used to alcohol and tobacco that we assume if marijuana is no worse, then why not get used to marijuana? That is a disaster, and I feel very badly to have
You should have gone to the look, you showed up 20 minutes late to detention. You should have gone to the restroom before you got in here instead of wasting your time in the hallway with those boys. I heard you out there.
Because marijuana isn't a killer drug, therefore it's totally harmless.
Should have gone to the bathroom then.
It's a panacea.
Marijuana is no panacea, but like
Token,
any other drug, it
no,
does have potential medical
no
applications.
soliciting,
For example,
no
it's
soliciting
believed to be useful in
in
treating
detention.
certain kinds of glaucoma. And here at the National Institutes of Health, it's being tested as a means of relieving the agonizing side effects of chemotherapy in some cancer victims. And there are other current experiments. But all of them are just that. Experiments to determine whether marijuana, or in some cases THC alone, can help the victims of serious disease. The problem is that by the time news of these experiments reaches the schoolyard, the information has become garbled. Some of the children we spoke to were convinced that marijuana had been proven to be a safe medicine for asthma, cataracts, even cancer, and that marijuana was not merely harmless, but beneficial, like vitamin pills.
And a lot of people think if they smoked, then their lungs will be all right, and they don't think it's something bad for you.
I heard that it helped your lungs, as a matter of fact. That's why I thought it's kind of good to smoke it.
Well,
I mean, you smoke a lot.
Myth starts. It starts in
His
in
brain
UCLA
sounds
where
dead.
we,
That's what all y'all are going to
this
sound like
problem
after
and
you've
did
been
find
smoking
that
that devil's lettuce.
THC, even marijuana, will dilate the bronchial tubes. Now, unfortunately, marijuana is not good medicine for asthma because it has so many irritants in it.
With cancer, there's another confusion. Marijuana is used for people who have cancer and who are getting cancer chemotherapy and have nausea and vomiting because of the cancer chemotherapeutic drugs. And marijuana does reduce the nausea and vomiting. It has nothing to do with cancer whatsoever. The very same people who think marijuana is harmless think it is a therapeutic agent. Well, the only reason it could possibly be a therapeutic agent is because it's a very powerful chemical. If it weren't doing anything in the body, it wouldn't be potentially useful for a therapy.
Most of our knowledge about the chemicals in marijuana comes from these plants. This field is part of a government research project at the University of Mississippi. The director, Dr. Carlton Turner, supervises the cultivation of the marijuana for scientific research. He also analyzes the chemical content of marijuana seized on the streets. He's worried about the presence of carcinogens, that is, known cancer-causing agents, in marijuana smoke. Because pot users smoke less than tobacco users, they have generally assumed that there is no risk of lung cancer from marijuana smoking. But with the quantities of potent marijuana that today's young chronic smokers are consuming, Dr. Turner thinks there is a risk.
I would say that there's more tar in a cannabis cigarette than there will be in a tobacco cigarette. And the tar here is of a different chemical composition. Some of the chemicals that you find in tobacco smoke, you also find here. In fact, you have more carcinogenic compounds in the smoke from a cannabis cigarette than you do from a single tobacco cigarette of the same size.
Most young people already know that the tar in tobacco smoke contains carcinogens, which can cause cancer. But many do not know that research has shown even more carcinogens in the tar from marijuana smoke.
The plain fact is that the chemicals are there that do cause cancer, and we know that, and we ought to get that message out, that that is a serious problem and a major threat.
Remember that marijuana is kept in the lungs for a long time, much longer than tobacco smoke. It gets way down into the small bronchi, and it's entirely possible that, since it does contain coal tars, that it's a possible cause of cancer.
Considerations of cancer aside, is it possible to compare the effect of a marijuana cigarette on the lungs with the effect of a cigarette made of tobacco?
Yes. In our study at UCLA, Dr. Tashkin found that
Blaze Tiara, you're late to detention.
had the same effect as
Please just
smoking
have a seat in the back of the room and be quiet. Take out your work.
The first direct
Watch the
comparison of
movie.
effects of marijuana smoke and tobacco
No
smoke
notes.
on the human lungs.
No
It showed
talking.
that one marijuana joint produced the same amount of lung inflammation as more than a pack of cigarettes. That lung inflammation shrinks the air passages, making it more difficult to breathe. So the effect on a child's lungs from 5 joints a week is the same as smoking more than 5 packs of cigarettes a week. Let's talk about you, Mr. Strupp. You gave up cigarettes, tobacco, years ago.
Almost 10 years ago, right.
You've smoked marijuana daily for about 10 years.
Correct.
You have bronchitis.
Or at least I seem to cough in the mornings, right.
You cough in the morning sufficiently to make you think you'd better go have a checkup.
That's correct. Well, you know, I'm no different, I suppose, than alcohol drinkers or cigarette smokers at times. I've never known a cigarette smoker yet who didn't occasionally say he was going to quit and occasionally curse the day that they started as they were coughing in the morning, etc. I feel a little of that. I mean, I think marijuana smoking on a daily basis is almost bound to cause some complications in your lungs because you are bringing in smoke into your lungs, and I doubt that that's healthy. I've noticed myself.
We don't talk about my personal business up in here anymore.
Cigarette smoker.
Just a joint like this.
I ain't here to have personal conversations with you guys. I'm here to work on my crosswords
And blow all the
and
smoke
get a
right into your
paycheck.
lungs.
And you can take it through the nose, too.
Really? What does that do for you?
You cop a super rush, because it's a lot bigger than a toke.
And are all the kids doing this?
It's okay.
Some of the younger ones, you know, don't know how yet, or are scared to. Fact of the seeds popping in your mouth, the fire falling down. Some joints tend to run, you know, and the fire can go in your mouth, and it hurts.
taking a substance, a smoke, inhaling it, and unlike a cigarette smoke, the person purposefully inhales very deeply and then holds it to get the maximum exposure to the deepest part of the lungs. Well, this is a disaster in terms of health consequences.
I don't think it's possible to bring a foreign substance into your lungs as you do with marijuana and expect that if you use enough of it over a long period of time that you're not going to have some ill effects. I think you will.
But there is a more immediate effect to marijuana use, intoxication. Now, this device attaches to an automobile dashboard so a driver can toke marijuana while he travels the highway. I'm using pipe tobacco.
Turn and burn.
The popularity of a gadget like this is another example of how misinformed some of our young people are on the intoxicating effects of marijuana. They have been educated about the dangers of mixing alcohol in driving, but many still cling to the notion that marijuana is different and safe.
But tests at the Southern California Research Institute have shown that marijuana severely impairs a driver's perception, concentration, reaction time, and overall driving skill. The tests show that the decrease in driving ability is directly related to the amount of marijuana smoked. They also show that this impairment of driving ability...
Any of you assholes out there know a three-letter word for leather puncher?
No longer feels high. But again, the facts about what this can mean on the highway have not reached many of our young
Big
people.
Ed Barnum.
Well, I think anything that you can do when you're straight, you can do when you're high.
Including driving a car?
Including driving a car.
On marijuana, you hardly ever hear any car accidents on marijuana because you always know what you're doing.
For whatever reason.
You are 12 years old.
Used to claim that they could get drunk and drive.
Like,
all right.
what in the hell? They
Right,
getting
even
all
though they
these
ran into the
kids.
rest of us, and a lot of other people knew all along they couldn't drive well. Well, marijuana smokers, I'm afraid, have fallen for that same line of self-congratulatory. They've generally told each other, hey, man, I can smoke the best marijuana in the world and drive, and it's not like alcohol, it's okay. Well, that's simply not true.
It is a major source of death, of injury, of property loss in the country right now because of drivers stoned on marijuana.
Let me make it clear that the research is now convincing that you should not smoke marijuana and drive an automobile, period. Whether you're an adult or a juvenile doesn't make any difference.
Why isn't this information available to young marijuana smokers?
Just because of our worrying about having every I dotted and every T crossed. We're not saying it clearly, but the evidence is there.
You'll go into health class and there's about maybe a 3-page thing on drug abuse and drugs, and it just says marijuana, mild hallucinogen, and that's just about it.
Would it be fair to say, Dr. Cohen, that the young people in the United States who are now using marijuana regularly are in effect the guinea pigs in an experiment on a national scale?
Well, they're certainly doing things to themselves that we, as researchers, wouldn't do or wouldn't be allowed to do. So, yes, they are guinea pigs. We are learning some of the unhappy sides of marijuana from them.
They're making themselves guinea pigs. There's no doubt about it. They are skating on the thinnest of thin ice, and it's a hope that they have that they're not running a very severe health hazard, health risk. I think they're going to lose their bets.
Besides the potential health consequences for the chronic smoker, there's another aspect of the growing use of marijuana by the young. Those 4 million juveniles who use marijuana, even if they merely experiment with it or use it occasionally, have one thing in common. They are breaking the law. In a legal sense, at least, they have become a generation of outlaws. They're on the receiving end of a vast criminal network of marijuana growers, smugglers, and distributors. In many cases, our children are part of that criminal network.
The fuck? Who painted that? That was
here
hideous.
in the marijuana fields of Colombia, the major source of supply for America's multi-billion-dollar marijuana industry. Officially, marijuana cultivation is illegal in Colombia. But in fact, there is 10 times more marijuana grown in Colombia today than there was just 5 years ago. Nearly all of it is destined for the United States. Most of it leaves Colombia from the northern Guajira Peninsula. From there, a steady stream of freighters, fishing boats, even yachts carries it to delivery points all along the United States coastline. In addition, aircraft leave the Guajira regularly, smuggling tons of marijuana as far north as Chicago.
Obviously, when you're talking about ships bringing in 20 or 30 tons of marijuana at a time, you're not talking about a group of college kids that are off on a lark at spring vacation. You're talking about a syndicate, organized crime. It may not be the mafioso, but it's certainly organized crime dealing in millions of dollars. Sometimes violence. It's a culture that none of us are very proud of.
A charter member of that culture is pilot Robert Eby, now in prison. Last year, Robert Eby was arrested when his DC-4, loaded with Colombian marijuana, became stuck in the mud at an airport in Virginia. Before that, he'd made 30 smuggling flights, penetrating the American air defense system each time.
Coming back to the United States, you listen on the radio for flight plans to be filed. And coming out of the Bahamas and out of a lot of Latin American countries, there's no telephones or facility to file a flight plan other than by when you get in the air, then you file it over the radio. You listen for somebody to file a flight plan, and being you're in a faster aircraft, say a DC-4 over 172, you try to catch up to where he's at. And before he penetrates, you're on his tail about 30 feet behind him.
So you piggyback on another plane?
Piggyback on another airplane. And there's somebody that doesn't even aware that you're even there. If you'd ever look behind him and see he's about to be eaten up by a big airplane, he'd probably have a heart attack.
Today, the bulk of the incoming marijuana is hauled by freighters like this one. They make offshore deliveries to Americans who smuggle it to distributors' warehouses. There is so much coming in.
There's a lot of talking going on in the back of this classroom that I did not authorize.
The fact is that despite the best efforts of the American government, this country is being flooded with marijuana.
If you just look throughout the country, marijuana is pervasive. It's all over, at every social level throughout the country. We have made some significant cases. We're continuing to investigate other cases. However, the flow is just so enormous that we are inundated.
I don't really have to go out and find it. It's just somebody comes up and say, hey, you want to smoke one? It finds you more or less than you find it.
If you got the money, you can get the quality to match it. Because I know you can get, all right, green pot is supposedly the worst. Now, don't get me wrong, there's very good green pot also. And then there's gold, which is usually always good.
Gold
now,
pot?
It'll cost you more than the bad stuff. But if you have the money, you can
Earwax, go ahead and take a seat in the back of the classroom. 45 minutes late. To detention. Take out your work.
You can't begin to address those problems until you first
Be
eliminate the
quiet.
black market and offer a
Y'all are
regulated legal
disturbing
market.
my
I wouldn't
crossword.
recommend that now. It's true we have some, what we call them, recreational drugs now that are legal and that we wish would go away.
I have this great movie here playing for you guys about the dangers of the devil's lettuce.
President, I would have done had it legalized a long time ago.
I've got to keep fixing my alerts today.
What would be the big advantages of legalization?
Well, then people in the store.
Thanks for the host.
Just walk in the store and get a pack
Now
of
be
joints,
quiet.
you know, like cigarettes. And then they'd have different brands, I guess, you know, Colombian, Mexican, whatever you want.
Our experience with alcohol and tobacco is so bad that to think about that as a precedent for dealing with marijuana is just, to me, an unthinkable idea.
That debate over legalization has been going on.
I ain't
for a
going to
long
decrease
time.
your time in here.
While it has, many American schoolyards have become retail
That you got to
outlets
take
for the
that up with
marijuana
your
industry.
teachers.
In a recent
Why you
Gallup
got put here in the first place.
81%
I ain't in
of
charge of
American
that.
High school students said that marijuana was easy or fairly easy to obtain.
I want to be here even less than you guys want to be here.
And some children are not just buying reefer, they're selling it. Often they are chronic smokers who deal in order to finance their own marijuana habits.
They usually are selling joints at the bus stop or bags, whatever, during lunch, after school.
Well, once you get a bag,
For being
you just roll up
deviant.
joints and sell them, you get your money back, and then you keep what's left over.
Usually when you start, you buy a quarter pound, which is 4 ounces. And that goes for anywhere between 100 and
Deviant
150.
behavior.
But usually it's about 125. So then you
No,
take
you
3 of those
cannot.
ounces, and you sell them for about 45 a piece. And then you make about $10 and an ounce for your head.
That's for your own use?
Yeah, for my own use. It's just my terms.
Are a lot of kids dealing?
Not a lot, but I'd say enough. Enough to supply the whole entire school.
If they arrested everybody that had some, they'd be arresting just about everybody. Everybody that's, you know, about 13 on up.
To cut down on arrests, some states, like Alaska, have passed decriminalization laws. Basically, this makes the possession of small amounts of marijuana a minor offense, with no jail term or criminal record involved. So far, 11 states have passed such laws. Some people think that's a step in the right direction. Others think that this relaxing of the rules for adult smokers has further confused young people on the subject of marijuana.
But you were in the government, Dr. DuPont. You were one of the first policymakers to advocate that criminal penalties be removed for the possession of a certain amount, a small amount of marijuana. Do you think there's a connection between the growing acceptance of that, of decriminalization, and the increase in the number of young marijuana users?
I do, and I think it's tragic. It relates to the fact that for most people, they can only think about an issue in black and white terms. They see support for a fine as opposed to a prison sentence for marijuana possession as being pro-pot. The public, the policymakers, everybody is still way too confused about marijuana. We're not giving clear messages to young people, to anybody about marijuana yet, and then we've got to change that.
What is the clear message you would give?
That marijuana is a dangerous drug.
I think our obligation is to convince people that even if marijuana is dangerous to use, it's not a criminal justice problem. And those who use it should be provided with good information. We should try to convince them that it's not in their best interest to endanger their own health, but we should not confuse them with criminals.
The drug problem is filled with many unpleasant realities. There's none more
Are you still in detention,
more painful
rookie?
or more surprising than the large number of young people who are using marijuana every day and whose lives are affected, distorted, and harmed in many, many ways.
What would it take to convince you to stop?
Well, if I heard something was bad, like it could kill you or make you real sick or something like that, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't smoke it.
Okay, where is this kid from, for
What should
real?
our society do about a 12-year-old who smokes marijuana daily? Before we can do anything, we must recognize that Brian and hundreds of thousands like him are a new and special problem. Up to now, our national debate has concerned itself mainly with the occasional use of marijuana by adults. That debate is not likely to end soon. But our children cannot wait. We have to tell them something now. Admittedly, there are still some important things that we don't know about the long-term effects of chronic marijuana use on the human body, especially on children. But in the meantime, our children are not being given the knowledge that is available now. They've not been told that the marijuana they are smoking is 10 times as potent as the stuff that college students were using 5 years ago. They've not been told about the cancer-causing elements in marijuana smoke. Many of them don't even realize that marijuana makes it dangerous to drive a car. It is not the children's
Half
fault
of them are
that
12. They
don't know these
can't
things.
drive a car.
It is the fault of our government, of our schools, of all of us.
Our story continues after these messages.
It was a puzzle. I wanted pants that looked...
Oh, I still can't believe it's finally summer. 3 months, nothing to do but work on my tan.
Here, y'all get another movie. Congratulations.
We're going up to see you at the end of the month. Oh, I got letters from my cousin Brenda.
I know y'all are just excited.
You never used to worry about your tan before? Well, Brenda was never throwing a party before. At least not like this one. Will you hold these? Sure. Okay, wait. Here it is. Oh, this is Brenda.
Oh, she's cute.
Yeah, friends in the family.
Oh, right.
Anyway, this year her parents are letting her have a really big party. And listen to this. Every cool guy this side of 10th grade is going to be there. Oh, lucky. A week in ritzy Seaview. You know, you'll probably meet some rich guy and fall madly in love.
I doubt that.
She says the rich kids are a bunch of snobs. They'd probably freak out if they found out my dad lost his job. Well, why? It's not his fault the school ran out of money. And besides, you said he'll be teaching again in the fall.
I know, but just try telling that to the junior jet set.
Boy, they sound like a real bunch of creeps.
What kind of assholes go to this school that would judge her for her
I mean, if
parents?
there's one thing I really can't stand, it's snobs.
Hi. Oh, Fran, you're home early.
How was the last day of school?
It was okay. What's going on?
Hey, Mom. I'm gonna need a new pair of sneakers before we go. Wait, Fran, did you hear the news?
We were just gonna tell her.
Tell me what?
Well, your father's just been offered the grand and glorious position of pool director at the El Condor Club up in Peaksville.
Peaksville? We're moving to Peaksville?
It's just for a month. Dad's taking me with him to work as locker boy.
What about me and Mom?
How does spending the entire month at Seaview sound to you?
You're kidding. A whole month at Brenda's?
Well, we wouldn't exactly be staying with Aunt Jessie and Uncle
Is that
Bill.
the mom from Happy Days?
Staying out at the Fairchild.
The Fairchilds?
I can't see.
We don't even know them. Why are we staying with them?
Well, because, honey,
Oh,
their
yep.
cook is going to take a month's vacation, and Aunt Jessie has arranged for me to take her place.
You're gonna be a cook?
What's wrong with being a cook? It's just a job like any other.
No, it's not.
Fran, your mother has a gift when it comes to cooking. People admire that, and they're willing to pay for it. Look, you know how rough things have been around here lately. This job could really help us out.
But Dad, a cook? And especially for the Fairchilds. I mean, Brenda says their daughter is the snobbiest girl in her class.
Look, don't you think you ought to get to know her first, before you begin to judge her? You'll probably like her.
Like her? I'll probably never even meet her. After all, don't servants have to use the back stairs? Well, that son is getting a little close to that mother. Any of you out there know what network Call the Midwife is on?
Yeah, I know. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
It is
Sure don't think so.
5
2 days ago,
letters.
You couldn't wait to go to your cousin. Now you act
I
like you're being
think
sent to
it's
Siberia.
British or
I'm
something.
just gonna miss being here, that's all. Miss Smoggy Los Angeles? If you ask me, you're lucky to be going with your cousin.
Yeah, you're right.
What do you say we ride the carousel one last time before I leave? Again? I'll never understand what's with you and carousels. I mean, the horses are pretty and all.
They're more than just pretty, Sarah. They're kind of like magic. Nothing bad could ever happen to you if you had one of those.
Yeah, I guess.
I can think of a lot of things bad that could happen if you had a carousel.
Hey, what's your address?
Whose address?
Your cousin. We can
I
write to
think
each
of a
other.
lot of things.
Oh,
62 Walnut Street, Seaview, California.
Now, come on. We're going to miss the next ride.
I thought it was BBC too, but it looks like it's 5. Oh wait, nope. It is BBC. That was a down and not an across.
Steve, why don't you take
Now
a
be
bag
quiet.
outside? I want to talk to Fran for a minute, okay?
Oh, Steve, I'll just take this on with me.
Yeah, I'll get a couple of those. You know, Fran, your mother's a very gutsy woman to take this on. It means a lot to her to have it work out.
I know.
Now, all I'm asking from you is that Well, you give her a little moral support, huh? Now, everybody works for somebody, Pumpkin. And whether you're a cook or a law professor or an acrobat, you're still you.
May I have your attention, please? Now loading inside the
Don't worry, Dad.
behind door one, the double doors for Ashton, Dorstead, Seaview, Harris, and Deepson. Behind door one, the double doors. All aboard.
You know
Thank you very much.
what BBC also stands for? Better be quiet. The sea is silent.
Together again. Oh, if only we were staying at the fair, Charleston's would be perfect. Well, if only Mom wasn't their cook, I wouldn't have to. Where'd you get a load of Andrea? Pretty bad, huh? The worst. Although we hardly ever see her. She doesn't care to associate with us peons. Oh, terrific. No, don't worry. You'll be too busy hanging around with us to even notice her. Which reminds me, some of us are going to the beach tomorrow.
$5 word.
If you want to come
for a
with us, we can all meet in
teenager.
town and go together. That would be great. What time? 10? And you can help me plan my party. Oh, your party. I almost forgot about it. Don't you forget. It's the last Friday of the month, and we're going to have a blast. Where'd you get this? Oh, my birthday. You like it? Gorgeous. What are you doing? I'm letting you borrow it. But just for as long as I'm here. Oh, Fran. It's outrageous. Oh.
Look, I was just giving you a compliment on that necklace. I don't want
Thank you.
it.
You're welcome. What would I do without you? Well, what are cousins for? Oh, girl. Brenda, Fran. Come on, girls. We're ready to go. All aboard. Need help? Nope.
Davies and her daughter Fran, Mr. and Mrs. Fairchild.
Oh, I'm so thankful you decided to take the job.
We hope you'll be very happy here.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it.
Let me get your bags.
Oh, my daughter's been dying to meet you. Andrea! There you are. Come and meet the Davies. Andrea, now you remember Mrs. Dunlap's daughter,
Brenda. Yeah, we've met.
And this is her cousin Fran, the girl I told you would be staying with us.
Hi.
Hi. She's like, get your peasant breath away from me.
I know you'll want to unpack, so I'll just take your bags right to your room.
Darling, why don't you take Fran on tour of the house while we show Mrs. Davies where to unpack?
Okay. Good luck. Thanks. I'll need it. Don't forget about the beach tomorrow. I won't. Okay.
Jessie, I don't know how to thank you. Give me a call when you get settled.
Well, bye-bye, Brenda. That's my parents' bedroom. And this is one of the guest bedrooms. We only use this for company. And that's the attic. And that's the study. You can put your stuff down here if you want. Come on. This is my room. What do you think? You must have every mystery ever written. Do you like mysteries? Are you kidding? I go crazy waiting for the newest ones to come out in paperback. Oh, who can wait? I always buy the hardcovers as soon as they're out. Really? Yeah, I'm halfway through one right now if you want to borrow it when I'm done. No, thanks. I brought a few books of my own to read. Oh.
Now who's being fucking rude?
I better help my mom. I don't believe it. Where did you get this?
My stepfather bought it for me when he and my mother got married.
Your stepfather?
Yeah. He's always buying me stuff.
I should be so lucky.
It's no big deal.
What is a 3-letter word for a
Mom,
piece of corn?
are you supposed to be their handyman, too?
I just don't have time to wait for the plumber. The Fairchilds are giving a big dinner party tonight, and I need all the time to get everything prepared. Aha! See? That didn't take long.
Thank you.
So, where are you off to?
I'm going to the beach. I'm going to meet Brenda and her friends in town at 10. Is it okay if I have a glass of juice before I go?
Well, of course it is, Fran. You're supposed to make yourself at home here. You don't have to ask permission for everything, you understand?
Yeah.
And I wish that you would just try to adjust to everything a little bit better, instead of walking around here with a chip on your shoulder attitude.
Me? What about Andrea? Mom, you should have seen the way she was talking about all her precious books yesterday.
Well, you know, she's probably nervous. After all, you two just met each other.
No, she was plenty nice to you.
Give yourself a little time.
Plenty nice.
You might find you got a lot in common, get along really well, have a nice summer.
I better go. I'm going to miss the bus. I'll see you later. Hi, you guys. You remember Eva Marie? Sure. Hi, Eva Franny. You poor thing. Brenda told me all about how your mother has to slave for the Fairchilds. Brenda? I never said she was slaving. I only said she was doing the cooking. Whatever. Anyway, a whole month of Andrea Fairchild. It's a gag.
I'll survive.
Of course you will. As long as you have us to hang around with, who cares about Andrea, right? Come on. They're waiting for us.
Oh, you too. You remember my cousin, Fran?
Hi. Hi, Fran. What do you think?
Well, I told her blue was her color. Hi, Fran.
Hi, Lisa. Aren't these new eyeshadows wild?
Oh.
Yeah, they're pretty wild. Here, try this one, Fran. Violently violet.
Is it true Andrea Fairchild has a mink bedspread?
Well, if she has, I haven't seen it.
Well, nobody's seen much of anything about Andrea. You know, she's never once come to any of our parties.
Well, she's probably too busy hanging out at the country club to bother with us. That's because the country club's the only place big enough to hold her.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
I appreciate it.
That's what I call purple.
Actually, it's the newest shade of violet. I mean, we like to keep up with the latest looks. Don't you?
Thank you for turning in that money.
Yeah.
I'll make sure it goes
My mom's got
to the right place, which is my pocket.
I just came in to get some place cards for the dinner party tonight. The car's here. Do you want to ride home?
Thanks, but we're all going to the beach.
Oh. Well, I'll see you later then.
And I will make sure it doesn't go to buy any of that devil's lettuce.
I'll say, what gives her the right to laugh at your makeup?
Well, forget about it. Come on.
That we learned about in that last video.
Okay, but I can't stay too long.
Why?
The Queen of England's coming to tea, and I promised Mummy I'd be home in time for serve.
Please.
Wow, what a little brat.
Did my cigar burn you?
No, it's nothing, really.
Or no, it's just something.
Really,
Nonsense.
it's nothing.
It's very clumsy of me.
No,
Let's
I'm
get you
okay.
inside
Really,
where I have
I'm
a little more
fine.
light. I can see it. Carol, I'm very much afraid I've accidentally singed this young lady's arm. with
Really,
a cigar.
Mrs. Fairchild, I'm okay.
Oh, it doesn't look too bad. Maybe you'd better have your mother put some ice on it anyway.
I will.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, don't worry about that.
Oh, no, the maid will clean it up.
Fran, what happened?
She just spilled a little coffee, that's all.
Oh, Mrs. Fairchild, I'm so sorry. No, I'll see to it. Please go back to the room, Fran. I'll take care of it.
Mom, go on, do as I say.
Anyway, Sarah, I guess you could say things aren't as terrific as I made them out to be. The truth is, we're not even staying at Brenda's. My mom...
I thought you might be hungry.
Ah! How dare y'all? Shit! God damn! Don't be scaring me. Y'all are keeping me. You messed up my crosswords.
Don't worry about me.
But I do, Fran. I know you think I've somehow lowered
Keep it
myself
quiet
to
down
this
there.
job.
Angel, don't make me take your horn away. Same thing, J-Man. I will take that horn away from you.
Job. Like it is for a nurse or a policewoman. Underneath it, I'm still the same me. Well, go ahead and eat your pie. You did a great job on it. I'll be in later.
That's it. That's it. Y'all are about to be punished.
Sorry I'm late.
That's okay, just in time.
We're trying to figure out what to wear to Brenda's party.
Well, I still think we ought to go with the preppy look.
These size, no way. Put me in pleated pants and I look pudgy, not preppy. Okay, then let's go feminine. You know, with the long skirts and ruffled blouses.
Yeah, and the necklace you let me borrow will go perfect with my new peasant blouse.
Sure will. There's one problem.
What?
The only thing I brought to wear was a skirt and blouse.
Oh.
Oh, well, I've got an idea. Why don't you borrow something from Miss Best Dressed Andrea Fairchild? I mean, don't rich people usually give their old clothes to servants anyway?
I'm not Andrea Fairchild's servant. She didn't really mean you, Fran. She only meant your mother. Brenda, my mother works for the Fairchilds as an employee, not a servant.
This girl
Okay,
needs
an
new
employee.
friends.
Big
They're
deal.
kind of
It's the same difference
assholes.
Anyway, right? No, it's not. And if you think it is, you're a lot dumber than I ever thought you were. Oh, yeah? Well, if you think I'm so dumb, maybe you shouldn't come to my dumb old party and surround yourself with all my dumb old friends. In fact, maybe you'd be happier hanging around old stuck-up Andrea. Well, maybe I would. Suit yourself.
Oh, Fran. Oh.
Mom, I'm sorry.
Oh, honey. Don't you think it's time you gave Brenda a call? What could you two have to fight about that would be so terrible? Nothing. Then I suggest that you go ahead and apologize. Brenda's party's coming up. You don't want to miss that, do you?
No.
I warned
But she's
y'all.
the one who owes the apology, not me.
I see. Well, I just wish you could find something constructive to do instead of getting underfoot in the kitchen.
Like what? Mom, I'm sick of doing things by myself.
Well, maybe Andrea would like to do something.
Oh, yeah, sure. She's probably dying to go slumming with the cook's daughter.
There y'all are. Y'all are on a
Excuse me, Mrs.
20-minute
Davis.
user
I don't mean to
cooldown for
interrupt,
dupes.
but I was on my way to the club, and I was wondering
This is
if you
why
could
we
fax
can't
me.
have nice things.
Yes, I think I can manage.
Thanks. Fran, we're allowed to bring guests to the club if you'd like to come.
Oh, well, thanks, but I don't think so.
Oh, I think
That's
a
probably why you're in
wonderful idea.
detention.
It'll be good for you to get out of the kitchen.
Melamber, just go to the back of the classroom.
We can grab a snack later at the clubhouse.
Take your book out.
You love it. It's great.
Got a million
Yeah.
plan for you guys.
You know, I used to be scared to death to come here. Everything and everybody is so la-di-da. Yeah. I finally figured out a way to get over it, though.
How?
All you have to do is picture everybody nude.
Nude? Forget it. These people could carry it off.
Oh. Oh, good. No one's got the diving board. Dive in. The water's great.
Well, I don't know too much about diving. Usually I go to the beach.
You kidding? You don't know how to dive?
There aren't too many diving boards in the ocean.
Oh, I could teach you. Anybody can learn.
Well, thanks, but no thanks. I think I'll just catch some sun.
I was wondering when you two would get back. Did you have a good time?
It was okay.
I have a little surprise for dinner tonight.
Surprise! Hey, how you doing, Pumpkin? Well, did you miss me?
Oh, Dad, I even missed Steve.
Great.
Oh, Andrea, I'm sorry. This is Fran's dad and her brother Steve.
Hi. Hi, Andrew.
So how long can you guys stay?
Till tomorrow. And tonight, after your mother gets through serving up her gourmet meal, the Davies are going out for pizza.
Oh, great, I'm starved.
Oh, Mom, they're not making you grind out
Christopher, go to the back of the room.
They're not
I
making
don't
me
need
do
your mouth.
anything.
Okay, I want to be
Okay,
here
so
even
when
less
can we leave?
The
than
sooner
you
a little
do.
helper sets the table, the sooner we can all get out of here.
Okay, I can take
The
it.
more you complain, the longer you're going to be in here, buddy. But I have a movie planned for you guys.
Oh, God, I'm gonna find out. Oh, I forgot the blanket. I forgot the fishing blanket.
Did he take one of those?
Yes, he did.
Ah, devil. So, how's it going?
Not fine. Dad, you know Mom. She's always happy when she gets around the stove.
How about you?
You know, stoves have never really turned me on.
Very
Oh, Dad.
Oh, Andrea.
That is an
Say, why don't you join us this
inappropriate
afternoon? There's
interaction.
plenty of food to go around.
I'd like that.
Andrea, you promised your
think.
mother that you'd practice your tennis. Now, you don't want her to look bad at the mother-daughter tournament, do you?
No, sir.
Of course not.
Maybe it is, Rip Noob.
Anyway, Mr. Davis, but I
Maybe you should shut up.
Want an egg, Dad?
Come on, let's go, let's go. Okay, let's go.
Hi, Mrs. Davies.
Hi, Andrea.
Is Fran around? I thought she might like something new to read.
Well, that's very thoughtful of you, Andrea. She's been feeling kind of low since her father and her brother left. And she got up this morning, she went to the beach, but she'll be back soon. She forgot our lunch.
Oh, I could take it to her. It wouldn't be any trouble.
Well, Fran would really appreciate that. I think
Do
she's
what you
outlined
need to
the
do,
point.
Mixter.
I'll find her.
Yeah, that ain't getting you out of detention any quicker. You're gonna have to sit here and suffer through this painstakingly terrible after-school special, just like the rest of us.
Brian, forgot your lunch. Oh, thanks. You're welcome. Those are nice shells.
Yeah, my dad and I found him.
He seems like a pretty neat guy.
He is.
I guess you miss him, huh?
I am a virgin female coach,
I used to miss
so
my
therefore
mother-in-law,
I
too.
am the perfect candidate for that
I got
sex
used to it
ed
after a
class.
while.
Thank you for asking.
Well, see you later. Wait a minute. You want part of my sandwich? Yeah.
Here.
This is great. You must take after your mom. I can't wait to see what she's making for my parents' party on Saturday.
It's mostly stuff I can't pronounce. She says there's going to be a lot of people there.
There are. I just wish I knew some kids my own age well enough to invite.
What about your country club friends?
What country club friends? Did you see any the other day?
Well, no, but I thought... I mean, Brenda said that you... There's lots of kids in Seaview. How come you're not friends with any of them?
My mother and my stepfather don't allow me to go places where they don't know the people. But the trouble is, they're never around to meet anybody, so I usually just stay home or go to the club. But there aren't a lot of kids that hang out there.
Oh.
Hey, are you going to help serve at the party Saturday? What? Are you going to be serving at my parents' party?
Of course I'm not.
Oh, are you sure?
Look, Andrea, this may come as a shock to you, but just because you're rich doesn't mean everybody else is your servant.
What?
You know, you really think you're great just because you've got a lot of books and clothes and even a carousel horse. But there's one thing around here you don't own. Me.
Well, that ended bad for her.
Ram, wait a minute! You don't understand. I didn't mean to call you a servant. The only reason I asked is because I'm going to be serving. And I thought it would be fun if we could do it together.
What do you mean?
Dressing up and passing around hors d'oeuvres is the only way my parents let me go to their party. And I figured if you were helping, the two of us could have a good time watching all the crazy adults.
Yeah, see? You jump to conclusions, bitch.
It'll be fun, I promise. You won't believe some of the weirdos my parents know. And besides, we'll get to eat all your mom's great cooking. Still think you don't want to come?
Crazies and weirdos, huh? How could I refuse? You got yourself a partner.
This woman that I was telling you about, she always says things like, or, knock 'em dead, honey.
Who is she?
She's crazy. So funny. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
You and Andrea seem to be very buddy-buddy these days.
Is that what you came here to say?
No. I came here to apologize. This whole thing has gotten way out of hand. I'm sorry that I called your mother a servant, Fran. I didn't really mean it.
And I didn't really mean you were dumb either. You know I just said that because I was mad.
Well, what do you say we forget the whole thing?
Yes.
Great, then you can come to my party?
Brenda, I can't wait for Friday night.
Friday? Oh, that's right, you don't know. My father's trip was postponed, so the party's Saturday now.
Oh, you're kidding.
What's the matter? I told Andrea I'd go to her parents' party on Saturday.
Oh, so you'll tell her you changed
Oh,
your mind?
here we go.
I can't
Dilemma.
do that, Brenda. She's really counting on me.
Well, what's more important, your own cousin or some stuck-up snob?
Detention is
Come
over
on,
when
you
this
know you're more
movie's over.
important. It's just that I gave her my word.
Then take it back. Or have you been hanging around that snob so
I
long
am
you've
doing a
given away yourself?
crossword.
Now, wait a minute, Brenda. Look, you don't understand.
Oh, I understand perfectly. You'd rather play up to a lot of rich people instead of coming.
I
to
don't
my
know,
little
Rip
party.
Noob.
That's not true.
I don't know how much
Then prove
longer
it.
is left.
Well, then I guess
You were concerned about your time
Andrea
after
or
class and school. Maybe you shouldn't have been a deviant and get caught in here.
Fran, you all right? You didn't say 3 words. It didn't.
Fighting might be the reason you got locked in here.
Didn't Brenda come
Y'all
over
are
and make
talking
up
too
with
much. I can't do my crossword. What happened? Be quiet.
I switched
back
your party
there.
to Saturday night.
So?
So, I already promised Andrea I'd go to her parents' party on Saturday. We're supposed to be serving hors d'oeuvres together.
Dee Dee, you are grotesquely late.
I'd feel bad if I didn't stay here with Andrea.
Like over halfway
Brenda is my
late.
cousin, and
You
everybody
definitely
else is
have
be
to
at
come
her
back
house.
for detention next week.
Well, it's your decision. But if it's any help to you, why don't you forget what everybody else is doing and concentrate on doing what is right for you? Okay?
Mixtifer, that comment just bought you another week in detention. Congratulations. Now sit down and shut up, you guys. Take your books out and do some work. Be productive members of this society. I know as kids, people
Come in.
want y'all, want me to believe that y'all aren't losers.
You know your parents' party on Saturday?
Changed your mind. You're not coming.
No, I really want to come. I mean, I told you I would, didn't I?
Well, yeah, I just thought something might have happened.
As a matter of fact, it did. It's the only thing I brought to wear to a party. I don't think this stain is going to come out.
Well, wait a minute. You and I are practically the same size. You can borrow something from me.
Oh, Andrea, I don't know.
I think this would go beautifully with your eyes.
Andrea, just look at what Richard surprised me with. Isn't it absolutely stunning?
It's gorgeous.
I told her she'll be the belle of the ball.
Well, Andrea, what do you think?
It's very nice.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Andrea. I just never thought to buy you anything. Tell you what, you do us proud tonight and I'll raise your allowance. How's that?
Thanks.
Well, we'll see you girls at the party.
Okay. It's really pretty. I couldn't borrow it.
Of course you can. It's just another bribe from my stepfather.
Thanks for that host. Now come on in. All you scragglers coming through.
Oh, thank you, Fran.
All you scragglers coming through. Go to the back of the room. Sit down. Be quiet. I'm trying to do my crosswords.
Oh, who's that? Oh, she's one of my stepfather's biggest clients.
Salty is here? No, I don't. What I want you to be quiet and take out your work and get to working on it. That's what I do want.
Yes.
Oh, no!
Oh, how could you be so
And I ain't your mother
Go
either.
to
If
your
I
room,
was your
Andrea.
mother, I would be sorely
I
disappointed.
said go to your room right now. Let me clean you
But
up.
I'm not disappointed in you because that is not my job.
All right, we'll get you cleaned up.
Oh.
No,
I won't
We'll
fight
be
you.
right back.
I will blow my whistle though if I have to. So get back and go back to that fucking room. Sit down. Shut up. Put it on your desk. And watch this movie. You might learn something.
Andrea?
Goldfish, you're late to detention. Just go find a seat in the back.
These are all my favorite then things. I don't actually make some with the now stuff downstairs.
What do you mean, then and now?
All these things used to be mine before my mother and father were divorced. Now Daddy's living in New York and married again.
I don't know, Kent, so I'm sorry. It was what was in the tape player when I got this TV from the library.
I'm lucky?
You have a real family. I mean, my dad was never rich or anything like my stepfather. But I always knew he loved me.
Your stepfather didn't really mean to yell at you. I heard him say so to your mom.
My stepfather never really means anything towards me. He thinks that buying me all that expensive stuff in my room will make up for the fact that deep down he doesn't really care about me.
Andrea, I owe you an apology.
What for?
For listening to other people's stupid gossip. You're not the one who's been snob around here for the past 4 weeks. I am. I'm just sorry it took me so long to realize it.
Hi.
Hi.
I thought I'd better bring you the necklace before you left. Thank you for letting me borrow it.
Sure. So, how was your party?
No bathroom breaks in detention. Should have gone before you got in here.
It would have been better.
Ain't that much longer in here before the day's over, so you can hold it.
There's always next year.
Yeah?
Now go back to your seat.
We can see who I'm inviting to that one.
Brenda, I know someone who'd like to come.
Who?
Andrea. She never came to your parties before because her parents wouldn't let her.
Come on.
Brenda, they're really strict. I mean, they never let her go anywhere.
Really? I never knew that.
Fran!
Hi, Andrea. Hi. I'll come back later. No. I gotta get going anyway. I told Marcia and Lisa that I'd meet them at the movies. Would you like to come with us? That'd be great. But I have a dentist appointment. Oh, well, maybe some other time.
Crosswords
Okay.
aren't gay.
Okay.
Or maybe they are. I don't know. But they exercise your
Okay.
mind. And they
See
keep
you
you
next
smart.
summer, okay?
Just try stopping me.
Bye-bye.
I have a little going away present for you. You didn't have to do that.
I know. Come on, into my room.
Y'all are talking about weed. Do I need to play that documentary again? Because it seems like a lot of you in here been smoking that devil's lettuce.
It's beautiful. But there's something else I'd much rather have.
Sure. What?
I'd much
rather have you come and visit me in Los Angeles. We'd have the greatest time, and I know you'd love Sarah. Sarah? She's my best friend back home. I can't wait to tell her about you. Maybe if my mom talks to your mom, she'll let you come down.
Oh, Fran, that would be great.
That must be my dad. So I'll see you in L.A.?
Just try stopping me.
Hope y'all have all learned a valuable lesson from this movie. That
Fran, I just got a call from Mrs. Carson.
you can't ever judge a book by its cover.
What did she want?
Well, I guess you could say she wanted to put her money where her mouth is. She just offered me cash to start my own catering business.
You're kidding. You mean you're going to be a regular businesswoman?
Is catering a party so much different than cooking for the Fairchild?
No. After all, a job's a job, right? In fact, I don't care if you're a cook or the first woman president, as long as you stay my mom.
Don't worry, that's a position that's filled for life.
Well, guess what, Mixfer? Well, it's your lucky day. You get to go out, and you're free. Y'all are all free. Detention's over. Yep, detention's over. Y'all are free. Y'all are free to go. Goldilocks and the Bear will be back at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. With some Dead by Daylight. Hopefully I won't see y'all back in here next week.
The Carousel
But
Horse by Sheila Hayes.
knowing just the level of shitty human beings that you all are, I probably will.
Well, how can you give blood that's infected with